Hi, I'm Ken Krell. Speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders come to me to discover how they can take their current position and turn it into high-powered, high-profit, transformational digital events. I can do the same for you too. You're about to watch an excerpt of one of our online events that I think you may find very powerful. After that, I'll meet you and we'll talk about it. It is always a pleasure to have my friend Amy Rose Herrick on the show today because, first of all, she's family. I mean, she lives in St. Croix, in the West Virgin Islands, known as America's Paradise, and is a member of our Safari community and has been with me for so long. I consider her a friend. She helps people, businesses, build their businesses and grow their businesses in ways that, well, frankly, you may never have thought about. So, Amy, welcome to the show, and tell everybody more about what you do and how you've changed the world for folks.
Well, Ken, it's always delightful to be with you. And when I'm working, I have business owners that come to me because they just cannot find where the rest of the money is. And I really help them build the profits in the business. Then we can get the business sellable so they can let go of it and to pursue other passions. And there's a lot of components there on the estate side too. So I really am working at creating wealth, but then also allowing a person to let go and do something else.
That's awesome. And you do it in so many ways. And you're so prolific. You're a prolific writer. You've got was it 7 or 9 books? I forget the count, maybe off a little bit. And plus, actually, this number will have changed by the time anybody sees this anyway, because you're so prolific. And I've had the pleasure of reading some of them, which is cool because you're so detail oriented with what you do. Give us, if you would, two things. I want a little success story about how you've helped people find the money. And moreover, after that, what can we do to find the money in our businesses as well?
Well, I will tell you, most of the business owners I've worked with are absolutely astounded that in as little as 15 minutes, I can show them where some of the hidden money is, and either they can do it or their staff can work on it and start creating more money in the business right away. And if I get into some success stories, there was one that came across my desk again the other day, and it had to do with poor planning in the business on even how a life insurance policy was owned. By correcting ownership and doing a couple of things, when the owner passed away, they were able to realize a little over $500,000 and not pay taxes on it. That's really important because they had it set up the wrong way before. And that's just one area. Now, when we talk about other things, there's just so many different things, from where you're wasting money on advertising to not budgeting correctly for employees, that I can help.
Give me a tip. What can we put into place now that we could use in our businesses?
One of the tips that I'd say is do your work with your professionals sooner rather than later. Everybody's heard of the cost of the School of Hard Knocks. Well, how long would you like to keep wasting money in your business by trying to do it yourself, and you never were trained how to do it, and you'll never do it?
Yeah. I'm going to tie into that as we kind of wrap this up in a bow, because this is a super brief interview that we're doing here today. And I would say this: while you're saying talk to a professional sooner than later, I agree with that. But I'm also going to suggest, as we do this, Amy, you come from a position, because you're so highly qualified, that you expect that people are as highly qualified as you. The challenge is most people are not. And I've got myself in trouble. I used to be in the mortgage business, and most real estate agents, unfortunately, are not competent. And unfortunately, I was caught saying that in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I was lambasted because, God forbid, right? Because the people thought they were talking about themselves. Interesting. So what I want to do is can you give us something that we can, I know you've got some stuff that you put together because we've talked about this before. Can you give us something that we can give to folks? I'll put it in the show notes, that they can learn from you about even how to find the right professional, so they're not going to get crappy advice, because we see bad advice all the time and you have to clean it up. So if we can make it easier for people to get a little taste of Amy and then understand how to find, whether it's Amy that you work with, I recommend that, or someone that would pass the test that would make Amy happy, so that she doesn't have to clean up the mess that's created by bad advice. Is that something that you could do for us?
Yeah, and that's really at two directions. There's one of the things I have made my book available digitally, and anyone can get that. And Ken, we talked before, and I'll have that link for you in the show notes there.
Okay, cool.
And it is how to show entrepreneurs 7 different ways to add $10,000 to $100,000 to your bottom line. One of the other things I have done with working with individuals when you're seeking advice is many of us have had medical conditions, and you get a second opinion. There are times when you want to go to a professional, get the first opinion. Talk to a second, don't give them the results from the first person. Make them use their own brain. See what they come up with. If they're identical, you pick the person that you probably feel the best about. If they're wildly different, you may need a third person. And in many cases, these professionals are very narrowly focused. Think about a podiatrist and an obstetrician. They're very focused, but they're both doctors. Now, if you go to the ER, that doctor is going to probably have a wide knowledge base on many conditions because they don't know what's coming in the door. And your financial professionals can be very much along those same lines.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Amy, we are completely out of time. What we're going to do, you're going to come back anyway. So I'm going to ask you, I'm telling you when you're coming back because I love you so much. We'll put in the show notes the links to those two documents. Go to reallyusefulshow.com. Look for the Amy Rose Herrick episode. This would probably be episode number 2, I think, because you've been back before. And I think there's a couple of different things we're doing anyway. But Amy, I love you. Thank you so much for being with us today. You are, as always, an awesome blessing to our show.
Thanks again, Ken.
So that's one short taste of how you can use the power of digital events to help people transform their lives and find a new way to live. Want to learn how you can put it to use in your own business? Well, stick with me for the Digital Events Essentials Plan. It's called DEEP. It'll take you through how you can plan, produce, and profit from your own online events. It's pretty great, it's pretty free, and I think you'll like it pretty much. So come join me. Click the link either in the description below or somewhere on this video itself, and we'll take you over there. It's completely free. I think you're going to love it, and it will give you the plan you need to plan, produce, and profit from your own digital events.